right, that was a wasted 15 minutes. Let's restart this whole thing. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you my makeup inventory for 2023. I did start counting my makeup numbers back in 2019 on my Instagram. If you are interested, you can check it out there, and I have done it ever since, except I did miss 2021, but shh, we don't mention it. But what we're going to be doing in this video, I've probably changed my categories up a little bit, and I am trying something slightly different. So what I have done is I've gone and counted all my products and updated my inventory numbers, and then I have separately gone and taken all my photos. So I'm unsure if my numbers to my photos will actually match, but I'm pretty sure my numbers are pretty correct. So we are just going to roll with it and hope that everything equals out. We're also going to be doing a bit of a comparison to my 2022 numbers. There has definitely been a lot of changes, because even though 2022 was my spend less, have less year, I failed miserably at that, and as I've mentioned before, so my makeup numbers have definitely gone up, up, and up. So like I said, I'm going to stick up here a picture of what category we're talking about. I'll give you the current numbers, I'll do a comparison to my 2022 numbers, and then at the end of this video, I'll put up a bit of a table or a bit of a spiel that kind of runs through all the numbers all together. In line with that, if you have seen my last year's makeup inventory video, I included my brush cleaners, my makeup removers, my new waiting in the wings backstock of makeup tools, all in this video. But I've decided to basically skip that category. It is a bit of a waste of time. I just end up going over the same things every year. And I will include probably my makeup removers more in my beauty inventory, in my skincare type stuff, rather than in my makeup. And I'm not really going to go through what makeup cleaners, brush cleaners, etc. I still have, or what tools are waiting in the wings. That isn't really a problem, and I don't actively purchase those myself. Any that I have, I've actually received as gifts. So I'm not really going to be including it in this at this point. If that is something you're interested in though, let me know down in the comments and I can include it in next year's inventory. But that's how it is for this year, and let's jump straight into it with my face primers. So with face primers, last year I had 7 and now I have 5. So there has been a bit of a change. That's 2 items less. But 2 of them, the Becca one and the Hourglass one, I haven't touched at all. I haven't tried them, which that untouched category is something that I have quite a lot of in my collection. I would totally do a video purely on my untouched items, but there is so many of them that it is just overwhelming to think of. I definitely have quite a lot of Oh the Shame products, as dubbed by Emily from emilynmax. I'll have her link down below in case you're interested in checking out her Oh the Shame videos. So yes, I'm hoping that the way I'm panning in 2023, the way I'm structuring my projects, will help me have less untouched items in my collection, because I think that is more of an issue for me rather than purely the numbers. The numbers are bad, but the fact that probably a crazy percentage of them, and actually I will do a little tally and I'll put up here the percentage, which is probably quite embarrassing, but I'll put that percentage there of items are actually untouched, which is something I would definitely like to remedy. Now moving on to foundations, I actually merged my foundation and BB/CC cream category together, and I'm just calling them foundations. With my foundations, I currently have 3 items in that category. And last year, between the 2 categories, I had 3 as well. And in fact, these are probably the same 3 because I haven't had any movement in that space, which does tell me that I really do need to start working on that Banana Boat tinted moisturizer / sunscreen, as I'm sure that that is getting closer and closer to expiry. So that is something I do plan to focus on a bit for 2023. For concealers, we have 5, where we had 9 last year. So there has been a bit of movement in that space too. You will see in my next trash talk, or my first quarter trash talk video, there is a concealer in that, which I haven't included in this number. So anything that was used up until the day of the filming this video are not included in these numbers. So last year I had 9 and now I have 5. We've also gone down in powders. So last year I had 6 powders and this year I have 5 powders. As you can see, I also have that L'Oreal Stay Matte pressed powder. That packaging broke quite badly, so I repressed the product into another container, but there is not much left, so I am hoping to have that one out shortly. I'm rather shocked to say that my blush category has gone up by 10 in comparison to last year. So last year I had 7 blushes and this year I have 17 blushes. And blush is quite hard to use up. Some categories have gone up because, as you might have seen on my Instagram, my sister has traveled overseas. She's moved overseas. So therefore there was some products in her makeup collection that got, I guess, handed on to me, as she couldn't take it all with her. So that does explain some movement in my categories, more so in my beauty categories than this categories. So that would explain some of it, but not all of it. So definitely that's something I'm going to have to work on and buy less blushes, because I like blush, but I do not get through. I've only used, the whole time I've been panning, so between 2019 and now, or 2018 and now, I have only used up 1 blush. So if I'm saying I've got 17 blushes and it takes me 5 years to use up 1 blush, we are talking a lifetime of blushes here. So yeah, we need to focus more on our blushes and stop buying blushes. My highlighters have also gone up, but they have only gone up by 1. So I had 22, now I have 23. And the new one in my collection is that I Heart Revolution Lion King highlighter up in the corner. So I definitely did a lot better with this category than I did with blushes. My contour / bronzer category has also only gone up by 1. So last year I had 7, now I have 8. And that is definitely too many for someone who doesn't even use contour or bronzer. I have to actively make myself use it, specifically when I'm panning it. So that's something I don't really get a lot of use out of. So 8 of them is definitely maybe 8 too many. Okay, in this picture, we actually have the one color corrector that I own. That is the Maybelline one. So that is kind of a new category in my collection. I probably would have previously just included it with concealer, but this year I've put it as a color corrector. It is a product that I actually decluttered to my sister in the past, and then, as I said, when she moved, she gave me things that she didn't want, and this was one of them that came back into my collection. I'm not yet sure if I'm going to keep it or declutter it, but yes, I have got one color corrector. I also only have 1 eye primer. I only had one eye primer last year, but I actually technically have two. So the one in the photo is my Milani one. That's actually quite new to my collection. And I do have a Revlon one that I have not finished, but I have misplaced. So I'm not actually including it in my numbers, but when I find it, I will re-add it to my numbers. I'm not sure if I'm ever actually going to find it, if it's lost within my house, or if I've, say, left it in a hotel room or something like that over the last 6 months when I have misplaced it. So we're saying that I have one eye primer. I do have two glitter glues. They are both from Australis, and one of them is currently in use. That is the one with the dirty packaging. The other one is currently in my back stock. So my brow products, I have taken a photo of them all together. I have separated them out, but I'm not sure whether the separations are the same compared to last year or different. But I now have 8, where last year I only had 6. So I did bring in that the 2 Beauty Bay products into my collection. So that is probably where the difference has occurred. But currently my numbers are saying I have 4 brow gels, 1 brow kit, and 3 brow pencils, though I can only see 2 in the picture, so I'm not 100% sure where the mistake has come about. That'd be something I would need to look into. But overall, I have 8 brow products in my collection. I have 1 lash glue, same lash glue as I had last year, and I have 2 sets of lashes, which are also the same 2 sets of lashes that I had last year. For mascara, I have 9, and last year I had 9. These are not the same 9 mascaras, but it has equaled out to be the same amount in my collection. Last year I separated my eyeliner into liquid eyeliner and pencil eyeliner, where I had 25 all up between the two. This year I haven't, and I have 28. So I do have 3 new eyeliners, and I'm not actually sure. I might have used 1 up last year, but that is definitely a lot of eyeliners, so I do need to start focusing in on them. I still have the 2 stamp tattoos, or the eyeliner stamps. I love this product, and I would love to get more shapes and patterns, but I still have the same 2. I do imagine that they will start to either dry out or be used up sooner or later. So moving on to eyeshadow, I will put a moving rotation of the pictures of this category. As you might be aware, I actually do my inventory by pan. So when I say I have X number of blushes, that is blush pans. When I say I have X number of highlighters, that is pans of highlight. So I don't separate into face palettes, highlighter palettes, all those type of things. It's just the number of pans of each category. So when it comes to eyeshadow, I currently have 899 pans of eyeshadow. That is definitely an increase, a massive increase. Last year I only had 503 pans of eyeshadow. This has given me slight heart palpitations, because I'm aware I did go a little bit nuts on the eyeshadow department, but I didn't realize how much of an impact that would have on my numbers. That is also why I'm trying to do a bit more of a usage projects for 2023, rather than use things up and focus in on things. And that is because a large majority of my eyeshadow pans, and actually most products within my collection, are untouched. What a category. I did think of doing a video specifically that focused on my untouched items and going through what those items were, but there is actually so many of them, it was overwhelming thinking about getting all those products out and going through them all. So I'm not going to do that. The fact that these are untouched is one of the reasons why I'm structuring my project pans the way I have for this year, because I do not want to have, you know, nearly 1,000 eyeshadow pans with majority of them being untouched. That is ridiculous. I love eyeshadow. I love the bright colors and using different colors, but I also know that it is going to take me so long to use up all of these. And it is just a little bit overwhelming. So yes, I have 899 eyeshadows, individual pans in my collection. Moving on to lips. The first photo you will see is actually the products, apart from the lip scrub, are the products that I missed from the other photos. So currently there is 2 lip balms, 1 lipstick and a lip gloss. Those are actually part of my other categories, but I included them in this photo because I didn't want to retake all the other photos. So those will be counted in the numbers, but they just won't be in those other photos. The main thing I'm going to talk about in this photo is my lip scrub. So currently I have 1 lip scrub. It was the same lip scrub that I had last year. So for lip balms, last year I had 9 and now I have 13. A large proportion of these are new and a few of them do have usage on them. So I would like to see this number decrease. And I do want to actually make sure I use up the more expensive ones, the fancy ones, like my Juvia's Place ones. I would like to actually actively work on getting those ones used up rather than the everyday lip balms, if that makes sense. With lip glosses, I now have 14. Last year I had 9. I have actually been quite enjoying using lip glosses, which is rather funny because I've never really liked them. But I am getting, I guess, a little bit of a soft spot for them. That's probably why I did go and purchase some new ones. But I do now have 14 lip glosses. Next, I have my liquid lipsticks. These are over 2 photos. Last year I have 70, this year I have 76. So that means in the period of time, I have purchased 6 new liquid lipsticks. And I am not impressed with myself to say that majority of these products are also untouched. Bullet lipsticks have also actually nearly doubled in size. Last year I had 27, now I have... Last year I had 27 and now I have 47. So lipsticks have definitely also skyrocketed in numbers. I now also have 4 lip crowns when last year I only had 1. So this category has also gone up. And my lip liner category has also gone up by 1. 4 of the lip liners are still the same as the 4 that I had last year, but 1 of them has gone up. So now I have 5 lip liners. Okay, so the next photo has the remaining products in my lip category. First up is lip oils. That category has actually gone down. So previously I had 2 and now I only have 1. Lipstick removers or liquid lip removers is still remaining at 2, and these are the same 2 that I had last year. Lip primers slash bases though, that has gone up, so I have 3 of those. Last year I had 2. The second Nude by Nature lip primer is the new one in that category, and I still have the 1 lip seal. I don't love that product. It is meant to be used to kind of essentially lock down your like cream lipsticks, but I'm not a massive fan of it. So I haven't really got much use out of it. I would like to use it up and get it out of my collection, and I would not repurchase it if I didn't have it, but I do not want to just declutter it for the sake of decluttering it. And last but not least, we have setting spray, and that category is still sitting at 7. So I had 7 last year, I have 7 this year, but they are not the same 7 products. So overall, there has been, I'll put up here on the screen now, a bit of a rundown of the differences in comparison to this year and last year. And I'll just say that overall, a lot of my products have gone up, which is not something that I am overly excited about. And I will also say, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of products in my makeup collection are currently untouched. So I do have a lot of Oh the Shame products, as dubbed by Emily from emilynmax, who I'll have linked down below just in case you wanted to check out her Oh the Shame series. But I do have a lot of those products that are untouched within my collection. In fact, I'm going to put here on the screen, I don't know this figure at this point, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to put here on the screen the percentage of my collection that is currently sitting as untouched in my makeup inventory spreadsheet. Though I don't know what number it is that's come up on the screen, and I'm sure that while editing this, I will be suitably shocked and probably revolted in myself. I do know that that number is probably quite high, embarrassingly high to be honest with you, which is really the main reason that I have structured my panning for the 2023 season the way I have, because I don't want a large majority of this collection, these numbers, to be sitting here untouched and just wallowing in their untouchedness, going bad. So that is why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. So I do think that next year, so 2024, when I sit down to do my inventory, my numbers wouldn't have changed much. I don't think I'm going to have much of a decrease in my numbers. I will say I am considering at this point whether doing a low buy or a no buy is a smart choice for myself. As you know, I have tried to do a spend less year both last year and in 2021, and both years I would say I probably bit off more than I could chew. I wanted to do something that was more than just makeup. I wanted to spread it out into my life as a whole, and it didn't work for me. And it really didn't work last year when I fell off the YouTube bandwagon, when I just fell off of Instagram and panning, and in fact I wasn't even wearing makeup for majority of last year. I went out and bought so much, and I'm assuming it was probably a little bit for that kick of, you know, adrenaline, that hit you get when you get something new. But I am now definitely paying for it when it comes to my numbers. So I am really considering whether I do a low buy or a no buy. But I'm leaning more towards a low buy, because I'm thinking that one of the problems is, you know, I would fall off the bandwagon a little bit and then I'd be like, well, might as well eat the whole cake, you know, and that didn't really work for me. I tried to spend less on such an extreme level that I just failed miserably. So maybe I should start with smaller steps, you know, in the way of, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Do I just take one bite and focus on low buying my makeup, maybe for a few months, and then if I want to add in another bite and a next step, maybe I should start looking at it that way, rather than trying to put all these intense rules about spending less and, you know, having less, which just does not seem to be working for me at this current point. But I digress. It is something I'm thinking about. If you are interested in seeing me actively do this as a low buy or a no buy on YouTube, please let me know and I will film it. Let me know down in the comments and I will definitely include it as part of my video series. But that is kind of where I'm sitting with my 2023 makeup inventory. I'm probably a bit disappointed in myself, especially because I didn't have many empties last year. Like I said, I hardly wore makeup at all. I will say, so we are nearly at the end of February, and when I have currently worn makeup every day that I have actively gone to work. So my work at home days, I haven't really worn makeup, but the days I actively go into the office, into my workplace, I do wear makeup. So I am feeling a bit inspired at the moment to keep going with this, and quite happy with my current success, considering that last year I would have worn makeup overall probably 2 handfuls worth of times over the whole 12 months. So yes, that is where we're kind of sitting. It's a bit of a downer to the end of this video. And I wonder if that's one of the reasons why I took so long to actively create this, because I knew that the numbers were not going to come out in my favor. And I guess it can be a little bit of a reality check that maybe I didn't really want to have. So yes, I guess that is all for this video. So I'm Verity. This was my 2023 makeup inventory, and now to the outro.